Are you looking to improve your doctor-patient experience at your next checkup? There's some new technology that could help. Check this out.
So anytime you go see a physician or any provider for that matter, the information that is garnered out of that office visit, it needs to get into the electronic medical record somehow. It's called the note, and that is referred to as clinical documentation. And those notes over time start to tell the story of that relationship with the patient, and it's so critical to get that information right for many reasons. But one of the reasons is is how important that relationship is between the provider and the patient. So whether it be with pencil and paper or checklists or a keyboard or transcription, or now with this new technology of ambient voice, which allows the burden to come off of the provider of putting that documentation in the note, which further enhances the relationship because you're not doing it during the visit.
Right. So would you say that that's the biggest benefit then for physicians and patients using this technology?
Yeah, there's really two. I mean, there's many benefits, but the two that we kind of really focus on, one is what we call reclaiming the provider-patient relationship. By taking that cognitive burden off the provider to get that information into the note, it really poises the visit to be much more relaxed and much more meaningful, face-to-face, not turning on the computer as often, and really enhances that relationship, which we think has many benefits in and of itself. And then on the other side of that coin, there is the decrease in the burden for the provider, which helps with this looming provider burnout crisis we're having in our country. That clinical documentation or the administrative burdens that are placed on our providers is really probably at the top of the list of what is causing that burden.
So how has it overall, I guess, improved that experience then, other than it kind of just helping with time and, they can focus better? What are some of the other ways that it has improved that patient-physician experience?
Yeah, as we've entered into the world of digitizing that medical record into a computer, you enter that computer into the room, and that took the focus off of patient and provider. The technology is supposed to be there to help that relationship, right? Grab information, look at results. But it really got in the way. And what we see in this instance, as Lance was mentioning, it really gives the provider that cognitive burden of, I can focus on that patient. Patients can trust the provider is focused on me, not the administrative tasks that have to happen. But what you see on the back end with burnout, statistics show with a provider burnout rate of 70% of providers feel burnout, which means if they burn out, they want to leave this profession. They were trained, they spent all these years with the schooling to do what? To treat us as patients, to really help us. Now we're changing their focus. And I think with that burnout dropping, it allows providers to have joy back in that relationship. It allows patients to feel connected again to their provider, that it's not just a technical experience with the provider in the background, it's a provider and patient experience using technology to enhance and to make sure that patient can be as taken care of at the right time with the right information when they need it. And so we see those benefits on both sides of the coin, where this technology doesn't drive the wedge, it creates a closer relationship between us and our providers.
And who wouldn't want that, right? So can you share some examples of how it's positively affected the healthcare experience in a real world setting?
I could give you so many examples, but really what it boils down to is, we are present in our patients' most inopportune times in their lives, and they may be coming in for something very simple as knee pain, and that visit might turn into some tragic news. They may be coming in for something of just a chronic disease management visit, and their life takes a turn, which is either physically or emotionally tragic for them. And at that point, I don't need to spend the energy, if you will, or the time of trying to get that critical information into the record. I turn to the patient, we sit in a relaxed pose, and we just talk about the issue. I think that is just a much better experience for everyone.
Definitely.
It also allows those providers in the end. We've seen statistics drop as far as 5 to 10 minutes as far as patients having to write that note. That's 5 to 10 minutes more focus that they have on the patient team that they have. I have the privilege of and honor of being a spouse of a provider, and actually seeing that joy come back, having her be at the top of her game and not focus on the stress of the administrative burden. That's the real world experience. You get to see the people that really have the passion and what they're trying to do come out. And I think in this day and age, it also then builds trust between patient and provider. We're starting to look at if that trust is built even more so, not from an authoritarian white coat perspective, but really a connection perspective. Will patients be more engaged in their healthcare? Will they be more, I wouldn't say compliant, but more willing to listen? We're more willing to be a part of their healthcare and really feel what they're there to be, healthier, more well-being, or have that touch of the patient provider. So it really is, in the back end, there's statistics, but on the front end of that patient provider relationship, it is seen every single day in those relationships who are using this technology.
Well, where can we get information on all of this?
Yeah, if you go to nuance.com/ambient, you can get more information about the solution that's solving this problem today. It's called the Dragon Ambient Experience, or DAX. You can find out how it works, how it fades into the background, and the benefits that it's providing to the patient, to the provider, as well as the healthcare organization as a whole.
Okay, well, thank you all for joining me today to tell us all about it. And if you'd like to see this segment again, just head to our website at firstcoastliving.net.